Hey guys, what if I told you that there's a marketplace off of Amazon that almost nobody is selling on? And then we're seeing average first year revenue of $500,000 for approved brands. That's what we're going to break down today. I'm super excited to have our guest, Yoni Mazur. He's leading Goflow. What's up? What's going on, Yoni? How's it going?
Thank God, doing good. Greetings from the New Jersey, New York metro area. If you are looking at this and not just listening, I'm here across the river, not too far. So greetings.
Excellent. Super excited to have you on, Yoni. And for those of you guys meeting Yoni for the first time, well, I think a lot of you know Yoni Mazur. He was running Getida, one of the leading reimbursement services, but he's actually switched hats. He told me that he, he finished his stint at Getida. He retired for one day, and then he had to get back on the horse. So Yoni now is leading Goflow. And Yoni, why don't you give us a quick overview? What is Goflow all about for people just learning about it the first time?
Got it. So on a quick note, GoFlow is an operating system. It's an operating system for e-commerce sellers. It could be for one single channel or multiple channels. So if you want to expand into more channels, such as a Target, which we're going to discuss more about, it becomes basically an MCOS or multi-channel operating system. We're able to pretty much manage most, if not all, the functions that are needed for an e-commerce business, a modern one. Starts from forecasting, purchase orders, receiving inventory, managing listings, getting orders in, fulfilling orders, shipping, and all these things. It's one consolidated into one login, one platform, one software, so you can really manage things at scale and have the right infrastructure. Because if you're starting from scratch and you want to maybe get to that seven figures, you might be able to scramble and kind of maybe fake it until you make it, kind of. But at some point when you reach scale, you needed some infrastructure and one system that has the source of truth for everything, for your inventory, for your catalog, for images, for your pricing, everything in one place instead of being all over the place. So GoFlow answers into that as well.
Perfect, perfect. And as Yoni mentioned today, we're going to talk about Target. Target is a marketplace that I don't think I know anybody that's selling on. So Yoni is going to walk you through the steps, what kind of brands are a good fit for Target, how he can help you, and offer also some common mistakes to avoid. So for those of you guys just learning about Target the first time, I mean, Yoni, who's the training for today, and why is this so important, especially right now?
Yeah, so the reality is that if you succeeded, launching a brand typically on Amazon, because Amazon in the past 10 plus years is becoming a gateway for entrepreneurs or micropreneurs to get into the e-commerce game. Out of scratch, you basically are able to make a modest production and spin out a brand and a trademark and then put in the market and gain access to, a good amount of loyal consumers that Amazon has, which is great, a great way to start. But obviously, because it's kind of open for all, and it's very data driven, and it's you got so much talent out there, it gets very competitive very very quickly. So even if you're on the wave and got a hook in, you got good results, and you're top of the charts, very good chance that you became a target. It's kind of funny that we're using the word target because we're going to talk
Yeah,
about target. But
yeah.
if you got a top seller, you're top ranking, all the eyeballs are on you how to topple you because somebody wants that spot, and it's a big war of attrition that's out there. So yeah, so there's an element of okay, there's that phase where you're kind of getting to the game and see if you're successful or not. But let's say you have moderate success or even great success. Basically, there's going to be a lot of competition coming in, and part of the mastery becomes, at that point, how to survive this attrition, or what can you do to stay ahead within the Amazon framework, which is cool. That will probably also will remain in terms of your ability to either sustain the sale or keep growing the sales and the profit. Of course, profit, profit, profit. It's all about profit.
Yeah.
But another option is to expand your brand, expand your reach, expand it to more channels. There's typically the other channels that are very popular out there, very well known. It could be Walmart, right, which is second in command in the e-commerce world, especially in the United States. The first one in command is Amazon. Secondary is kind of Walmart. Third is kind of it depends how you look at it. It could be third or second. It's kind of Shopify, but it's not necessarily a marketplace. It's more like a platform where you can create your own website for your own brand, which
Hmm.
is very popular these days as well. So you might be able to do that. So you create your own Shopify website, and you get consumers to coming in and directly shopping from you, which leaves you with the burden of bringing the traffic in and mastering that. That's a different discussion for a different day.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and then you might have eBay stuff like that. So what happens is between these options that most sellers are familiar with, they kind of dabble with it, they try it out, and it's okay. For some, works really really great, so they have really good revenue streams coming from all these channels. But
Yep.
one of them that often gets overlooked, and for a reason, is Target.
Hmm.
And before I get into the reason, I want to step back and remind everybody, if you're watching this outside of the United States, I'm not sure if you know, but when it comes to physical retail,
Hmm.
Amazon is not the top game at all. Amazon is on the
Yep.
digital e-commerce side. On the physical side, Walmart is the king, queen, and kingdom. But the secondary command of that king and kingdom and domain is
Hmm.
Target.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Target has a really good brand name and recognition here in the United States, because when you talk about Walmart, a lot of people go there a lot. It's all good. It's very big. But if I cut down kind of the core of it, a lot of it has to do with groceries, being like kind of a massive grocery store with all this
Yep.
other categories, which is
Yep.
pretty good for Walmart. So
Yep.
Target definitely has that grocery component, but I think it's maybe in the reverse. It's more like I want to go to Target, check out what I can, fashion,
Yep.
accessories, all these kind of things. It has a cachet. It
Yep.
has kind of a few. They typically have the red color and the white floors, very
Yep.
clean, very
Yep.
cool,
Yep.
and it's very addicting because you never know what you're gonna find, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden there's
Yeah.
something cool,
Yeah.
and so it
Yeah,
has that
it's a
cachet.
lot
And
more cool. I mean, if I can just weigh in, I mean, I'm from LA originally, as you know, Yoni. And then when I go back, like my mom and I will go to Target, we'll check out some cool stuff. They got like some kids, fashion for the summertime. And, it just feels like
toys,
the vibe
gadgets.
is different. It's like, I don't want to say like, Walmart is ghetto, even though I said it. But I mean, Target, like they used to call it like Target or something, back when
Exactly,
we were
Target, like
kids,
as if it was like French. It gives like kind of
Yeah, yeah,
almost like a European feel of
yeah.
good flavor, good taste of products, store alignment,
Yes.
feel, the customer,
Yeah.
whatever it is, they're able to get the sensation out of the consumer. So it's second in command, and it's very, very
Yeah.
loved internally in the
Yeah.
United States by the consumers, and therefore their website as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Walmart has its Max
And,
Market,
and
its
I think the other
Americana.
thing that we got to
Yeah.
touch on is like the price point, like the perceived value, because everybody knows we go to Walmart for like cheap deals, right? But
Rock
Target,
bottom. Yeah, rock
yeah,
bottom.
Target, it could be a little higher. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like the
But you're
perceived
happy to pay the
value.
premium.
Yeah.
Exactly. It could
Yeah.
be rock bottom, and they're just matching the same kind of brands. If you're talking about like Gillette deodorants, it could be really a price. They compete with Walmart on those, but you'll find
Yeah.
things you probably won't find anywhere else. And if you do kind of find one for somewhere else, it might be similar to it, but not the same quality and grade. And the grade and Target probably will be higher, therefore the
Yeah.
price will be higher. But you're happy to pay it because you believe in the brand and what they put out there. And so you pay premium. You're a premium client. They have premium clientele. Like
That's
the
right.
target, like you said, the feeling. So the vibe that it gives you, it's like it's just I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah. Yeah. No, you
it's
you you did a great job explaining it. So, Yoni, most of my audience, six, seven, eight-figure Amazon sellers, they never even consider Target as a marketplace. Can you paint the picture? How big is this opportunity? What's the revenue potential we're talking about? Why is Target still flying under the radar?
right. So the reason is pretty simple. It's a gated marketplace. You can't just
Mm,
start applying to sell there like you can do on Amazon or eBay, Walmart, all that stuff. It's by invitation only.
yep.
Target is by invitation only. So once again, because
Hmm.
it's a curated, much like their stores, the website
Hmm.
as well. There's a lot of loyalty in the stores, and there's a lot of loyalty in the website itself because it's
Hmm.
curated. They really think about the consumer and the feeling, the Target feeling that they're going
Hmm.
to give the consumers, where they're expecting more from Target,
Hmm.
and they're expecting something a bit different with a bit of a different angle, and
Yep.
even the price points can be higher, and that's fine. So therefore, the website works the same way. So in general, it's gated. You gotta it's by invitation only. You kind of hope that one day maybe they'll knock on your door and invite you in, because once you're in, you're gonna do
Hmm.
pretty well.
Hmm.
That's on a general level. On a
Hmm.
more specific level, when it comes to
Hmm.
GoFlow, we actually have the ability to create value for you with Target. Why? Because we have this strategic partnership with Target. Target is a bit different than Amazon because they never created a Sell Essential. You know how the sellers are very familiar with Amazon Sell Essential, yeah? So Target did not want to go through all that huge investment to create a platform for sellers. What they
Mm-hmm.
did was they contracted and partnered with a few strategic software companies. Goflow is one of them. And basically, once they invite a seller to sell on Target and and they accept the invitation and start selling, they have to go
Mm-hmm.
through GoFlow to actually operate and manage the listings and all the stuff that you got to do. Like on Sell Essential, you do it through GoFlow.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that relationship that we have with them, we have the ability also, this unique ability to pitch certain brands and sellers to the Target buying team. So instead of
Mm-hmm.
them inviting you, basically we are inviting you to Target. In other words, we have a backdoor channel for
Mm-hmm.
some brands and sellers to get you
Mm-hmm.
into Target. We have this ability, this unique relationship where they trust us to bring the best sellers out there
Mm-hmm.
so they can fit the Target mold and start selling there. So my point is that if you guys want to expand into Target and you find it impossible, we have the opening for you. But it comes with a certain type of criteria. One of them
Mm-hmm.
is that your brand is already in the millions with an Amazon. If you're just starting a brand from scratch, Target is not going to be a good fit for you. They're very data driven. They want to see data. They want to see track record. So if you already hit that seven figures mark on Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
all the channels, by the way, that's a really good start. That's kind of the
Mm-hmm.
first layer I will put out there. The other layers that it's me kind of announcing out there for you guys that if you're watching this or listening to this, I'm gonna tell, and you are in the seven figures, I'm gonna tell you the categories that right now. So what happens? What's interesting with Target, for every quarter or season, they're looking for different kind of categories. Okay, literally telling us, GoFlow, we want, you're our strategic partner. Go and find us those successful brands out there from wherever you can,
Yeah.
because and especially for these categories. Why? Because we want to expand these categories. We want more sellers there. We want more brands and more
Yeah. So it's
selection there.
almost like
So
you guys got the crystal ball, right? Like you know what they
we,
want
we
and
have the
what they're gonna
mandate. Not
push,
only that, we have the
right?
mandate. They're telling us go hunt us of sellers. We trust. We're working with them for a few good years, and
Yeah.
we have really good results.
Okay.
They know that we know what they expect and what they want. And
Okay.
before I tell you which categories are out there they're looking into and they want basically to expand those. So if you're a part of those categories, I'm happy if you're going to reach out to us and we're going to work with you on putting it into Target. But I'll tell you that just on the GoFlow statistics and data, the brands that we pitched to Target, about 80% of them get eventually approved. So we really have high success rate in terms of approval because
Mm.
we don't just we're not gonna just pitch everybody. You're gonna go through our filtering first. We're gonna look into your data set, see where you are, the categories, everything. And if we think you're a good fit, we're gonna pitch you into Target. And if we do it, there's 80% chance that you're gonna get approved. And if you
Mm-hmm.
get approved, on average, all the sellers that we get approved and they start selling on Target within the first year, on average. Of course, there's some sellers who did much more than that. They generate about $500,000 in the first year. It's about 40,000 plus in revenue every month if you get approved on Target, which is really nice numbers and nice expansion for many businesses out there. And it goes back to the point of Target being such a unique, beloved retail brand and store and platform and website for consumers out there, especially in the United States, where they're willing to pay a bit more, but also because it's curated, there's not too much competition.
Mm-hmm.
So in
Mm-hmm.
other words, to put it into some more simple words for anybody watching,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be able to sell your products there maybe at a same price as others, but maybe even higher if you like. But it will you have much less competition. She'll be able to make nice amount of revenue, and it will be hopefully lucrative and more profitable than other channels.
Mm.
So that's a really cool angle
Yeah.
to be able to accomplish for your business and expand. And then on a side note, if you really do well on the website, on the platform as a seller, and because you're already working with their buying team, that it's the same team that's in charge of the website. But guess what? It's also the team that's in charge of the stores. So if you do exceptionally well on their website, the good chance you can say, hey guys, why don't we try 100 stores or 300 stores or
Mm.
1,000 stores?
Mm.
Boom, they start it become basically you create this vendor relationship where they're sending you a purchase order, they're buying from you and putting you in the physical stores.
Mm.
That's a pretty cool angle if your brand is able
Yeah.
to accomplish that because right then you're front and center on the shelves in
Yeah.
the American, North American consumer market, which is a huge accomplishment for anybody to be in. And by the
Yeah.
way, that relationship that you're gonna have, if you're gonna have a vendor relationship, you can also manage through GoFlow because we
Mm-hmm.
don't only facilitate third-party selling, we also
Mm-hmm.
facilitate one-party selling, meaning when you get purchase orders and you have EDI connections with their Target, Walmart, Amazon, Costco, Nordstrom,
Yeah.
Macy's,
Yeah.
you can basically manage all those through GoFlow because we're an operating system and we have 200 channels and integrations where you can basically manage and take control and operate all these relationships. So that being said, I want to give you guys in a really quick line and note on the categories that right now hot off the press what they're kind of looking for. So if you apply, once again, if you are more in the seven figures with your brand across Amazon or Walmart or other channels, or even Shopify, they're looking for apparel and accessories. Okay, it can be young contemporary dresses, pants. It can be women's and men's, of course, athletic sneakers, women's and men's, and also maybe tops, outerwear, and sleep like pajamas, stuff like that, and also swimwear. So they're
Mhm.
looking into that for the next 6 months, the second half of 2025. They're looking to
Wait,
expand
so
that.
is
So
this
if
for
you
fall, winter, or is this summer? Which season?
this
Because
is
that's a big
basically
difference.
it's summer and in fall because what do you have? Second half is third quarter is basically June, July, August, right? Sorry, it's
Yeah,
July, August, September. So it's
yeah,
first half. We're recording this in July, so it's
yeah,
the beginning of Q3, and then
yeah.
it's gonna shift into September. Sorry, it's gonna be October, November, December, which is already
Yeah.
kind of fall and the beginning of winter. Peak winter will
Okay.
be January, February, so we can talk then.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
so you got that on a quick note. Then you have also home
Hmm.
home and kitchen, bedding, mattresses, bath, furniture, home decor, hardware, tools. That's kind of the home stuff. You also have hard lines, electronics and accessories, luggage, gaming. Um, if you have those hard lines and you once again you're seven or eight figures, reach out. And then everyday care essentials, baby and pets, could be vitamins, supplements, superfoods, infant basics, furniture for babies, strollers, bassinets, high chairs, stuff like that, and also food and beverages. What's in multi packs? So if you have a bulk coffee, tea, snacks, candy, global spices. Non-perishables, seasonality, gift baskets, stuff like that. They're looking to expand into those. So these are the kind of stuff. So I gave kind of the categories and subcategories, but I'm gonna go macro again, just the categories. So we talk about apparel and accessories, home, hard lines, which typically kind of means electronics, everyday care and essentials, and food and beverage. If you play in those categories, or you're already in the millions, just reach
Hmm.
out. You can just visit goflow.us / target.
Yeah.
Once again, goflow.us / target, and you'll be able to fill a form. This is the initial form. It's an intake that we're going to take from you. We're going to review it. If we believe you're a good candidate, we're going to reach out to you so we can continue the process of pitching you to the target buying team. But if you're not a good fit, we'll let you know. And of course, if there's things we believe you can maybe improve or change for and try to later time, we can do that as well. But if you're completely not a good fit, we'll also tell you that as well. Because once again, if you're not in those categories, or you just kind of just got started out of zero, don't expect miracles. This is very data driven. This is very
Hmm.
foundational, but it works because when it works and it's lucrative. So those categories, you're already in the millions. Reach out. We're happy to pitch you there and just create this value, so you can continue your expansion and your success journey within e-commerce
Yeah.
and hopefully maybe even
Yeah.
brick and mortar commerce.
Yeah. I think that's an excellent opportunity. Thanks for sharing those categories. So let's get a little bit tactical. What you said that it's very data driven, right? So if someone, a seven, eight figure seller, they're interested in pursuing Target. I mean, what does the actual process look like? How long from application to first sale? And what sort of inventory commitments we're talking about? And how is managing Target different from managing on Amazon operationally?
Yeah, so I would say that in our latest statistics, it takes from the beginning of the application process all the way to being approved to start listing your products on the platform, it's like within 30 days. So 3 to 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks. So that's kind of the process. It's different than, like I said, Amazon. If you're a shopper on Amazon, you want to become a seller, you click, and then maybe within a few hours, maybe a day or two, maybe more. I
Yeah.
don't know today because today I think they take your ID and stuff like that. So also
Yeah.
maybe it takes a bit longer. I
Yeah.
started, I already cashed out of Amazon, but I made my exit in 2019, but when I started in 2010, it was like it was very easy. I
Yeah,
just
it was
converted,
Wild
started
West
selling. So
days. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
Wild
today I have
West.
all these
Yeah,
things. So I'm not sure what
yeah,
it's like, but
yeah.
like I said, here instead of dealing with the machine, you're actually dealing with humans, a buying team,
Mm,
which is good news and bad news. The good news is, let's start with the bad news, is that they have a limited capacity. They can't just take anybody. So don't waste your time if you're not really relevant. But if you're relevant, you'll be able to highlight that properly and have the discussion, hopefully get the approval, and then be on your way for a lucrative expansion of your brand and
yeah.
journey.
Okay.
So yeah,
But I mean, when
pre
you say data driven, what type of metrics are they looking for besides revenue? Do you want to see a certain profit margin or
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Oh, no,
price
no, no. They're
points
not gonna.
or what? Yeah.
Yeah, they're not gonna look into your profit margin stuff like that. I
Yeah.
think yeah, definitely price points. They're gonna do. Listen, at the end of the day, they have their own data sets and tools and I don't know, secret sauce, but they're going to scrutinize you. They're going to look deep into their data and general data and whatever they can
Mm-hmm.
cross and reference. And if they are very data driven. So if they made the decision to approve you, it
Mm-hmm.
means they have confidence in you and your brand to do well on the platform. They don't want to waste anybody's time. They want to generate revenue. They want to please their customer base, right, and their shoppers. So that's why it's a really cool experience and different and unique than anything else that's out there, because
Mm-hmm.
it's a compliment right away. If you got approved, it's a real compliment to your accomplishment. Once again, you start out of scratch and you're able to build a seven-figure business, and you thought, okay, I'm running the high horse. This is the peak and apex of my abilities. Maybe not. Maybe there's a continue another chapter you can bring to that story.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is a very unique one. So if they
Yeah.
approve you, it means that they looked around and did whatever they do. Um, so that's
What, I
that. But
mean,
we
do
have
you
our
know
own
what
way. Yeah,
specific
yeah.
criteria that Target uses to approve brands?
I do not. That's why, they still have their job as to approve, but we have our
Yeah.
job on a Goflow side. So we know that
Okay.
on the basic criteria, we need to be already show that that you succeeded, and there you basically you resonate with consumers out there. Your product and what you solve for resonates. It's made well. You have good reviews. You have good feedbacks, good quality
Mm-hmm.
scores, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Between you and me, they might even buy your product wherever you're selling it. It could be, it doesn't have to be only on Amazon. It could be anywhere.
Yeah.
They might buy it and test it and play with it, whatever it is. It's a buying
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
know retail, they know product. It's once again, it's
Yeah.
not the machine anymore. You're talking about the humans. So,
Mm.
and the feel of it, the ambience of it, whatever it is, they
Mm-hmm.
might do whatever they have to do. So,
Okay.
but no worries.
Okay.
I would say this: it's a no-brainer, because at the end of the day, on the GoFlow side, it's free. We don't charge anything for this process. We're not going to charge you a penny. We're going to look
Mm.
into your data and the data sets. If we have not even target, we have a reason to believe you'll be successful, because we
Uh-huh.
have our specialist team and then our data sets that we look into. We're
Yeah.
going to pitch you to them free of charge. And if you get accepted, there's no charge. And then if you want to start selling, okay, then you start selling. Then you're going to have to use GoFlow. Okay, and there's the cost of the system to use it to sell on target, and you pay that cost, but hopefully you're gonna be more than rewarding. So that's a general idea.
Excellent. So basically the process is you apply with Goflow. Goflow will take a look at your product, your listing to see if it's a good fit or not, right? If it is a good
Correct.
fit, then you guys can help facilitate the introduction to pitch to Target, and it's free at no cost to the seller. And if you do get
Yes.
approved, that's when you have to get started and using Goflow as kind of like this the Target Seller Central, the back end, and for the
Correct.
inventory management and stuff like that. Am I
Correct.
understanding this correctly, Yoni?
100%. Yeah. 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 That's
Okay.
exactly. But another
So
thing I would
so
say, yeah,
yeah.
one thing I would add is that if you have a large catalog of hundreds of SKUs or thousands, obviously we're not gonna send all the thousands. What we're gonna do is we're gonna curate. We're gonna probably
Mm,
hover in on. We're gonna zone in on your top 20 or 30 that we believe that they're gonna be excited the most,
hmm
just to get you approved. But once they're
hmm
approved, you're approved. You can list your whole catalog. There's no limit.
mm.
So you got to
You can
break it
list the
in.
whole
They don't have
catalog.
time to
Okay.
look in, 500,000 SKUs. You show them the
Yeah.
top performers ones, and if they approve it,
Yeah.
then once again, your brand, basically your brand is approved to come in and do your magic.
Okay. So you can list however many you want, like in
Yeah,
terms
because
of
you're already
SKUs.
in.
Okay.
Once you got in, you're under
Got it.
through GoFlow, that which is kind of the
Yeah.
Seller Central there. You
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
list as many as you want, and you off
Okay.
to the races.
And what about the inventory commitments? How does that look like? Do you have to physically send inventory somewhere like a Target FBA equivalent, or are you self-fulfilling? And what does that look like for the inventory?
Yeah, so you don't have to commit anything. You obviously, if you got approved, then you want to start selling. So you generate revenue. If you don't list anything, you don't commit anything, you generate zero revenue. Okay,
Okay.
that's
So
your
you don't have to physically
mostly.
send in anything. Like you have your own like,
Yeah,
3PL, so
it's
you're
as
doing
if,
full.
yeah. So you can have it, you can have it with your own warehouse or the
Yeah.
3PLs, or logistics warehouse that you work with, and as long as you're able to
Okay.
fulfill the orders as they come in from the marketplace, you're good to go.
Cool. All right.
You're a
Excellent.
seller. It's your own inventory. You're not selling to Target. You're selling on Target, much like you're selling on Amazon. The main difference is it's a more of a curated marketplace where there's not going to be lots of competition. The client base is very loyal and very good and very lucrative. Uh, in other words, I would say that it's maybe more like Amazon was 10 years ago in terms of how clean it is and the kind of a hidden gem. 10 years ago, or maybe a bit more, Amazon was like a hidden gem. I remember when I used to tell people, they say, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" Actually, even before that, let me give you the backstory just for the people who are not too, you know me, we know each other for years, Gary, so you
Yeah.
know our story.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Please do.
um, so So my story is over a decade ago I started selling products online. We had a website, we sold on eBay, but then in 2013 started to sell on Amazon, and the business grew very quickly from 0 to 20 million, then to 100 million. And then another company was born from that experience, was called Getida, Getida.com, where we basically it was FBA auditing and reimbursements. We created 2015 for ourselves, and then it worked pretty well. So we started, letting sellers use it, and then it grew very, very quickly until 2019. We cashed out of retail and then focused just on Getida. We became the largest provider in the world on the FBA auditing and reimbursement service. So eventually, I sold that to private equity in 2022. I gave them a 3-year commitment, which came to a deadline, like you mentioned earlier. I went on a pension. I retired for one day. I was very unsuccessful. The next day, I already started helping Goflow here and basically going back to the world of helping e-commerce sellers with, solving challenges. Well, I did pretty well on the reimbursement side. Now I'm helping more on the operational side because in my role, when I was a seller, I was a COO. I was a founder and a COO, Chief Operating Officer.
Hmm.
Structure and operations, I was zealous about it. So it brings me back to the passion days of my own business, now helping with the other sellers out there.
Hmm.
But when I was in early on 2013, when I was telling people that I was selling on Amazon, or even 2014, 15, and a little bit beyond, they were like,
Hmm.
they looked at me as if I was saying like I'm selling on eBay and I'm in a flea market or something. Like they were looking down on me, like, and I
Yeah.
was making tens of millions, hundreds of millions, or like,
Yeah.
we're printing money and it was a hidden
Yeah.
gem. It was like in the store. And then I would say
Yeah.
the big bang was maybe 216, 217. And we're like, all of a sudden the courses, the classes, and the
Yeah.
influencers, everybody. So today, okay, it's no, you got to be on Amazon. But
Yeah.
Target is that stage. So it's in this stage, and I believe it's going to stay in the stage for a good amount of time because they're not in a rush to open it up and make it a jungle. They really
Yeah.
want to build it in an intelligent, nice way. Same way they did physically in their stores. They're doing it digitally in their .com platform website. So sellers are not aware of this opportunity, but it is definitely there. And this is where we want to take a moment, making sure that we educate the sellers out there, the brands out there, that there is a way, an opportunity to expand it to Target. GoFlow happens to be that opportunity. So if you pay your attention here and you check us out, I'm happy to hold your hands and bring you to that journey because I think that's a really I wish I had that back then because once again you want to be in a place where you're being appreciated. So the fact they approve you, Target approves you, it's an accomplishment. They appreciate you and your brand, and then hopefully their consumers as well because they know their consumers very very well, and
Yeah.
hopefully you'll because of that, you'll be able to make a good amount of revenue even at premium prices, and then make a good margin. Make a good margin because there's not too much competition and not too much cost in
Yeah.
terms
Got it.
of advertising and stuff like that. Because with Amazon early on there wasn't too much. There was no advertising. Advertising only started maybe 2016,
Yeah.
2016. So the early days, anything you put there just sells because the client base was really good and healthy. Same idea on Target.
Yeah. Okay. So, a couple quick questions before we close out. Target commissions, how much are they going to take?
Depends on the category, but typical like Amazon 15% for most categories, and then it could be lower on the electronics and stuff like that.
Okay. And what about advertising? You mentioned, is there some sort of like PPC equivalent on Target?
No, not at the moment. So it's more like the early days of Amazon where, you just used to, I don't know if you remember this, but I remember definitely I just put stuff on this place and it just sells,
Yeah.
right? And it just wants more and more and more. So that's what
Yeah,
Target is
yeah,
like right
yeah.
now. And they don't
Okay.
have that craziness of cost. I mean, they just don't. That's why
Okay.
it's very very refreshing to be in that angle. But of
So
course, if you already have a
yeah.
Target, just on a side
Uh,
note, if you do already have a Target listings and you have a listing there, you can definitely drive traffic there through anywhere you want. It could be through Google, it could be through
yeah.
influencers,
Okay.
or anything you want to drive
Yeah.
traffic. But they don't have internally the PPC. They don't have that.
Okay. And then what about launch? When you launch, like what do you do?
Like I
Target.
said, that's what once again, we're living in the days of Amazon of launch. You gotta have all these tags.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
just list
yeah.
it. You just list it and they come. That's what in the first year, like I said, on average, it's $500,000 or more. So they're ready for you. In other words,
Yeah.
let's reframe this. There are targets. Sorry, there are clients there on Target that are ready for a brand. They want your brand. They want your product.
Hmm.
All you need to be able to connect there. So GoFlow and the Target buying team will connect you to that place where your product is being wanted.
Hmm.
So you have this opportunity to reach out. We'll do all the filtering and use all the data required to scrutinize it. And once you get approved, you're there. So you typically list there. The orders come in. You just generate the revenue, which is cool. If you're happy with what you make, great. But if you want to enhance that, you can pave the way, you can trailblaze, and once again, you use Google to your advantage. You can drive
Yeah.
traffic through Google, through
Yeah.
content, through vlogging, video, whatever it is. So instead of saying, "Hey, buy it at my website or buy it at Amazon," say, "Buy it at Target." Oh, Target, I love Target,
Yeah.
right? You can
Yeah.
get it there, so you can feed more revenue over there if you like.
Okay, cool. I want to just address the other side of the coin. This podcast is all about sellers avoid expensive mistakes when scaling. What are some, common mistakes you see sellers make when expanding to target, and how can they avoid them?
That's a good one. Not much mistakes you can do because there's so much scrutiny beforehand. Once again,
Hmm.
because if you all of a sudden open up a Walmart store, Amazon store, eBay store, then you can make all these. It's open for everybody. So a
Yep.
mistake can be that you're not optimized enough. But because
Yep.
here it's already before you got approved, they already checked on you. They checked already how your images feel, look like. In other words, you're already coming with a certain type of quality.
Yeah.
So that's your edge. That's your advantage. So the less likely you'll make a mistake, but obviously don't cheat, don't lie, don't, no false advertising. Don't promise, like if you're selling supplements, don't tell me you're healing cancer or anything like that,
Yeah.
right? Stuff
Yeah.
like that. So ethics is a key component. It's a more of a basic marketplace, I would say, not as advanced and robust as Amazon, but nevertheless, it's more lucrative.
Hmm.
Right? Because even if you're really sophisticated on Amazon, you got all these things, but your competitors are doing the same thing,
Yeah.
right? Therefore, you have maybe a little bit of a price war. You can't command too
Yeah.
much, but Target you just don't have that. It's not the
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
It
It
could be
sounds
that you're
almost
gonna
like
be
a
the.
blue ocean opportunity, right? It's not like
It's
red
exactly what it
ocean,
is.
like Amazon's all those sharks fighting over that piece of
Correct.
meat, whereas on Target, it seems like the sharks aren't even there yet. So, okay, so
Exactly.
that segues to my last question. For sellers that want to learn more, they want to see, hey, can I get onto Target? What can they do next step to connect with you?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier. So just visit our. We have a special intake form, so we start with early intake of looking at your details, your information, your brand, stuff like that. It's goflow.us/target. Pretty simple. So that's in general on the target side. Do you want to share more information in general about
Yeah, do
GoFlow and
you
then
have that slide? I mean, for the people
yeah, let's
watching, there's a QR code, and we'll also link it up below in the show
sure.
notes for people checking it out.
Okay, let's do that real quick. All right, so let me share the screen, see if I found it. Okay, so this is in a quick note, just so you guys have a better appreciation about the GoFlow environment. Once again, we're a software, we're a platform. We are not an agency. We're not sellers. We're not anything like that. We're simply a platform and a software that helps you operate your business. But we make it very, very simple. So we allow you to sell everywhere, but you keep it really simple. So within the platform, you're gonna be able to do forecasting. So it can be on the micro level, on a SKU level, all the way to the macro level, where it's for your store or all your stores. You can be able to forecast how much inventory you want to buy because you're talking about capital allocation. When you buy inventory, you're actually buying an asset, but you're also buying a liability because you want to move and sell your inventory as quickly as possible. So you need to have the right forecasting capability. So we provide that. One thing I want to mention: when you use GoFlow, you pay one subscription fee, month to month. There's no long-term commitment, and you get all these features free of charge. It doesn't cost extra to have all these features. So you get forecasting, then you can place your purchase order within the system. So once the purchase order is ready from your providers, your manufacturer, whatever it is, you can receive it into your inventory. It's going to synchronize to all the channels. And then you can update all the listings with the content, the visuals, whatever it is. You can have your whole catalog within GoFlow, and then hopefully you optimize everything. The orders come in. When the orders come in, you can do all the fulfillment. You can reroute it. You can utilize FBA or Amazon's MCS, or WFS. And then also, if you want to do your own shipping, you can be able to plug in all your carriers and your carrier rates, so you can shop for the best rates. And then after everything's said and done, you can be able to do analytics. What happened? How much revenue did I generate today, yesterday, the past week, quarter versus the other quarter, or seasonality? It's all in one place. So that's kind of the idea there. And if you just want to check it out and book a demo and see what it's all about and see it in action, just you can visit goflow.us/demo, or you'll book a time with us. We'll do a discovery, understand where you are today, what your infrastructure looks like, what kind of integrations you might have, and then so we see where you are now, and then where would you like to expand and grow into, and then show within our system how it feels, it looks like when you actually do it. So it's really warm, friendly, and made simple. So hopefully you'll have a good experience of checking it out.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Yoni. I think this was a great strategy that almost nobody's talking about. So, like what we said at the top, I mean, sometimes the most important thing to be successful isn't the actual product that you're selling, but the marketplace that you're selling it in, right? Where you're selling it. So it sounds like Target is a marketplace that almost none of your competitors are selling in yet. So right now, this is the urgent time for you to get in to be that first mover, right? To take that market share before your
First
competition
mover
gets in.
advantage, exactly. I'm ringing the bell. This is the first mover advantage because your competitors, even if they wanted to, they can't unless
Yeah.
they're also listening to this event right now. So now it's really
Yeah.
first to apply kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, speed and knowledge and information and content and community such as Seven Figure Sales Summit is those angles that raise the awareness and then you take advantage of the opportunities and hopefully you monetize pretty well on it. And I want to refresh everybody's memory here because it gets easily lost once you're trapped in the Amazon world and game, which is an amazing game, but this thing can get lost. When you create a brand, you create a product, your mission as a business is to make this product available to as many customers in the world that it fits for them. That should be your vision, your strategy in general. I know you started on Amazon, we did great, but if you have enough and your capabilities to expand and go everywhere, you have to. That's your mission. That's your purpose. So if your problem, your product can solve all these problems for so many others, you have to strive there. It doesn't have to be all overnight, but in time. So if you watch this and you're already, like we said, in the millions, you're successful what you did, and then you fit those categories that I mentioned, jump on the opportunity, expand, and then there's more places we can have other discussions later. There's also Timo rising up, Shein is rising up. But they're open marketplace. You just kind of
Yeah.
apply and sell there. So they're also on the rise.
That's right.
TikTok shops is on the rise. That's a whole discussion for another day. But when it comes to
Yeah.
Target, very unique blue ocean situation for not everybody, for a certain few. If you're the certain few, act fast, just enjoy it. You got
Yeah.
lucky.
Perfect. All right. Thank you very much, Yoni. Super insightful today. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Definitely consider Target and connecting with GoFlow, guys. We'll see you at the next session. Bye, everybody.